Thank you very much.
Criselda, I understand that you are at the courtroom right now. Please tell us what is happening at the moment and what can we expect?
Well, what we're expecting is for the 30-year-old foreign national to appear in court this morning. This with regard to the shooting of a 14-year-old who is participating in ongoing violent service delivery protests here in Bekkersdal. He's expected to appear on charges relating to attempted murder as well as possession of an illegal firearm. But at the moment here in Bekkersdal, the situation is still very calm. We're also expecting a meeting between matriculants in the area. As you would be aware, that schooling has been interrupted in Bekkersdal as well as in the nearby township of Simunye. So matriculants are coming together in this area to see what plans can be made to try and catch up. Already 2 weeks, these matriculants and other classes as well have lost out on a lot of the learning process. So what we're expecting is for that meeting to take place. You will know that the matric examinations kick off on Monday. So there's a bit of a concern regarding how the matriculants in this area are going to cope. But what we understand is that the Gauteng Education Department has somewhat stepped in to try and ensure that there are some measures that are put in place for these matriculants to try and prepare them or to speed up their readiness for the matric exams, which kick off on Monday.
Now, in your observation, would you say the issue is more political or xenophobic?
I wouldn't say xenophobic at this stage, Jamila, because what the community has been consistent about is the fact that they want services. They've been consistent about the fact that they want the Western Area municipality to be placed under administration. They've been consistent about the fact that they want water. They've been consistent about the fact that they want education, and also for some of the infrastructure. They want infrastructure development in the area. So relating to xenophobia, we thought that perhaps it would take that turn after the foreign shop owner had shot the 14-year-old. But there's been a lot of call from community leaders for the residents in Bekkersdal not to turn their violence towards the foreign nationals, but actually to remain focused on what the goal is here, to try and get some intervention with regard to speeding up services in this area.
Now, you mentioned before, Criselda, that there were school children who participated in the protest, and some are matriculants in the middle of their exams. Would you say that the children that we've seen, of course, in pictures are the ones that are advancing the demands?
I beg your pardon, I did not get that.
You mentioned earlier that there were school children and some of them even matriculants that had participated in the protests, which of course we understand that they're currently in the middle of the examinations right now. But would you say that the children are the ones advancing the demands?
No, I don't think so at this stage. A lot of this march is really spearheaded by the community, the older community members. But of course, because children are not going to school, they're not engaging in any kind of activity here. They are basically just participating in the action because nobody's leaving the township. A lot of the taxis as well in this area are quite vigilant when coming to drop off some of the residents if they're coming from the nearby Western area. So children basically participating because they see the older community up in arms over what's going on here. But do they understand what this is about? I think they do. We've spoken to 13, 14-year-olds who seem to raise the same concerns, as their parents about the fact that they want a development in this area. And they honestly believe that if they take their grievances to the street as they have now, there might be something that will come out of it. Perhaps provincial government authorities would look up and say we need to attend to the situation in Bekkersdal, and perhaps maybe some services might be restored here.
Thank you so much, Criselda Lewis, reporting for the SABC. Thank you so much for that update.